After 70, men lose strength fast if they ignore these 5 daily habits. Hello, I'm Dr. Nancy. Have you ever noticed that certain things just feel a little harder these days? Maybe carrying in the groceries from the car isn't quite as easy as it used to be, or you catch yourself feeling winded after climbing just a few steps. You might chalk it up to getting older, and sure, some things naturally change as we age, but that doesn't mean we have to lose our strength so quickly. In fact, many men find that after 70, their muscles seem to shrink almost overnight. One day you feel steady and strong, and the next, even getting up from your favorite chair feels like more work than it should be. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be that way. There are simple, everyday habits that can help keep your body strong, your balance steady, and your independence intact. That's what we're here to talk about today. I want to have a real straightforward conversation with you about 5 daily habits that make all the difference in holding on to strength after 70. These aren't complicated gym routines or restrictive diets. These are things you can work into your day with just a little bit of thought and care. Let's get started by talking about one of the most overlooked parts of staying strong, something as simple as standing up more often. It might sound almost too simple to matter, but spending long stretches of time sitting down is one of the biggest reasons older men lose muscle faster than they realize. Sitting all day tells your body, in a quiet way, that it doesn't need to keep those muscles as strong anymore. And once that signal is sent, the body starts breaking down muscle tissue because it thinks it's not needed. Now, I'm not saying you need to be up and moving all day long. We all enjoy a good rest, especially after a lifetime of hard work. But adding small moments throughout your day where you stand up, stretch a little, maybe walk around the room or the yard, helps keep those leg muscles engaged. Even standing up during commercial breaks while watching TV makes a difference. It's like reminding your body, hey, we're still here. We're still using these muscles. Another habit that's just as important is making sure you eat enough protein. A lot of men, especially after 70, don't realize they're not getting quite enough. And without enough protein, your body doesn't have the building blocks it needs to maintain muscle. Now, I'm not talking about eating giant steaks every night. Simple things like eggs, beans, chicken, or even a protein shake can help fill that gap. Some folks think they don't need as much food as they get older, and that might be true in general. But your muscles still need fuel to stay healthy, and adding a little extra protein to your breakfast or lunch can keep your strength up without feeling like you're forcing yourself to eat more than you want. Let's not forget about water either. It's one of those things that seems so basic, but as we age, our sense of thirst can fade a bit. You might not feel thirsty, but your body still needs hydration to keep muscles functioning well. Muscles that aren't properly hydrated get stiff, tight, and are more likely to feel weak. Keeping a water bottle nearby and sipping throughout the day is a quiet, easy habit that supports your strength in a big way. Now moving on to something that really makes a difference: balance exercises. Strength isn't just about lifting heavy things or having big muscles. It's also about feeling steady when you stand or walk. And after 70, balance becomes just as important as muscle size. One thing I always suggest is standing behind a sturdy chair and practicing lifting one foot just a little off the ground, holding it there for a few seconds. It may feel wobbly at first. That's normal. But those tiny adjustments your body makes to keep you steady are exactly what keep your muscles and joints engaged in the right way. It's about keeping your footing, preventing falls, and feeling confident when you move. And the best part? You don't need any special equipment or a gym membership, just a safe spot in your home and a little patience with yourself as you build up the habit. Now that we've talked through standing more, eating enough protein, staying hydrated, and working on balance, there's still one more habit I want to share with you. It ties everything together and helps make sure all your effort doesn't go to waste. That final habit I mentioned is something many men don't even think about until it starts affecting them: stretching and flexibility. Now, you might not immediately link stretching to strength, but here's how it works. When your muscles tighten up from sitting too long or not moving enough, they lose flexibility. And tight, stiff muscles don't work as well when you need them. They get weaker over time simply because they're not being used through their full range of motion. You've probably felt it before. Bending down to tie your shoes feels a little harder, or reaching for something high on a shelf pulls in ways it didn't years ago. That's your body telling you it needs a little attention. Stretching doesn't have to be fancy. A few minutes in the morning or before bed, loosening up your shoulders, back, and legs, keeps everything moving more smoothly. One of my favorite stretches is as simple as standing tall and reaching both arms up toward the ceiling, holding it for a few breaths. You'll feel it in your sides, your back, and even in your legs if you stand on your tiptoes a little. Another easy one is gently rolling your shoulders forward and backward. These small movements keep your joints flexible, your muscles supple, and help prevent injuries that could set you back. Now, it's not just about avoiding injury. Staying flexible also helps you keep doing the things you enjoy. Whether that's gardening, walking around the block, or playing with the grandkids, having that easy movement makes those everyday moments feel less like a chore and more like a joy. And really, that's what all of this comes down to. Keeping life feeling good, even as the years roll on. Something else worth mentioning while we're here is how important it is to listen to your own body's signals. Strength isn't just about pushing yourself harder every day. It's also about knowing when to rest and when something doesn't feel quite right. Sometimes, especially for men who have spent their whole lives working hard, it's easy to ignore those little aches and pains or push through stiffness, thinking it's just part of getting older. But tuning into what your body's telling you can make all the difference. If you notice persistent soreness that doesn't ease up, or if a certain movement feels unusually difficult, that's a sign to check in with your doctor or physical therapist. Catching small issues early means you can handle them before they turn into bigger problems that slow you down even more. Now, while we're focusing on these habits, I want to pause for a moment and talk about mindset. It might sound like something from a motivational book, but staying mentally engaged in taking care of your body really does matter. After 70, some men start to feel like strength just isn't in the cards anymore, that it's too late to make a difference. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Even small changes made today can lead to real improvements in how you feel tomorrow. I've seen it myself. Friends who felt like they were slowing down suddenly find new energy just from getting a little more movement into their days, or from changing up their breakfast to include a bit more protein. It's never too late to build strength. It's never too late to feel steadier and more confident in your body. Another thing I hear a lot from men around this age is the idea that rest is the best medicine. And while rest is absolutely important, too much of it can actually work against you. Muscles are like a savings account. If you don't make regular deposits, by standing, stretching, moving, and nourishing them, sooner or later, the balance runs low. And when that happens, things that used to feel simple, standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, even holding onto a shopping cart, can suddenly feel like more of a challenge. That's why building these small, steady habits into your day matters so much. It's not about big dramatic changes. It's about those little deposits every day that keep your body strong and steady for the long haul. Standing up more often, adding more protein to your meals, drinking enough water, practicing balance exercises, stretching to stay flexible, all of it works together like pieces of a puzzle. By keeping each piece in place, you give yourself the best chance to stay independent, confident, and able to do the things you love. Whether that's fishing with a friend, working on a hobby in the garage, or simply enjoying a walk around the neighborhood, it all comes back to staying strong in the ways that matter most. Now that we've covered these key habits that support strength after 70, there's one more thing I want to share with you. It ties everything together: how these habits fit into daily life, and how to make sure you don't lose the progress you're working on. Because at the end of the day, keeping strength isn't just about building it once. It's about holding on to it for the years to come. When we talk about keeping strength after 70, it really does come down to consistency. Small habits only turn into lasting results when we weave them into the fabric of everyday life. That's why I want to take a moment now to talk about how to keep these good habits going, not just for a few days, but for the long haul. Because it's one thing to stand up and stretch once or twice. It's something else entirely to make those things part of your daily rhythm without it feeling like a chore. The first thing to remember is, it's okay to start slow. Some men feel they have to jump straight into doing everything all at once, standing more, exercising, changing their meals overnight. But that can be overwhelming. What really matters is picking just one small thing to focus on first. Maybe today, it's as simple as remembering to stand up every hour or so instead of sitting through the entire afternoon. Tomorrow, maybe it's having an extra egg or a serving of beans at lunch for a little more protein. That's all it takes, one habit at a time, building naturally. Something that helps a lot of men stick with new routines is tying them to something they're already doing. For example, If you always watch a particular TV show in the evening, make it a rule for yourself to stand up and stretch during every commercial break. Or if you always have a cup of tea in the afternoon, make that your reminder to take a few sips of water as well. These little anchor points help turn good intentions into real actions. Another helpful thing is setting out cues or reminders around your home. Maybe you keep a glass of water next to your favorite chair so you're more likely to sip throughout the day. Or you leave a chair positioned where you can practice balance exercises for a minute or two when you walk by. These gentle nudges are often all it takes to turn a habit into something automatic, without needing to think about it too hard. Now, a lot of men also find it easier to keep up with these habits when they share them with someone else. Maybe that's a spouse, a friend, or even just writing things down in a notebook to keep yourself accountable. It's not about turning it into homework, it's about giving yourself a little structure. A simple list like, stood up 3 times today, added protein to lunch, did balance practice before dinner. That way, you can look back at the end of the week and really see the progress you've made, even if it feels small in the moment. It's also important to remember that no one is perfect. Some days you'll forget. Some days you might not feel up to it. That's okay. The key is to gently guide yourself back without guilt or frustration. Strength doesn't disappear because you missed a single day. What matters is returning to those small habits again and again, like a steady heartbeat, keeping you moving forward. And here's something else I want to say, especially to the men watching this who might feel like they've already slowed down too much. It is never too late. I've seen men in their 70s, 80s, and beyond regain strength and confidence just by sticking with these simple habits. The human body is surprisingly adaptable, even as we age. Muscles can be reawakened, balance can be improved, flexibility can return, all with patience and consistency. When you take care of your strength, you're not just adding more years to your life, you're adding more life to your years. Things like carrying a grocery bag, stepping up onto a curb, bending down to tie your shoe, all of it feels easier and lighter when your body is supported by regular movement and care. And beyond the physical side, there's the mental benefit too. Feeling steady and strong helps build confidence. It's easier to say yes to outings with family or hobbies with friends when you trust your body to handle it. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small habit you feel ready to start working on today? Maybe it's standing up more, adding a little more protein to your meals, or trying out a balance exercise behind your kitchen chair. Let me know in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to take that first small step. If this video helped you feel motivated or gave you something useful to think about, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. It helps others find this content and lets me know these kinds of conversations matter. And if you'd like to keep learning simple, honest ways to stay healthy, strong, and independent as you age, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We have plenty more tips and real talk coming your way. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It's always a pleasure to share these moments and these ideas with you. Remember, strength after 70 isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up for yourself a little bit each day, with patience, care, and a steady heart. Here's to living your best life at any age, feeling steady, strong, and ready for whatever comes next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.